Okay, so get ready to have your minds blown today because we're diving deep into Tesla. But we're not talking about the cars this time. We're going way deeper into their AI and robotic stuff. If you're into robots and AI, Tesla's always been on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
But the stuff they're working on right now is straight out of the future.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you look at how they're approaching the problem. It's not just about building a better robot. They're really trying to change the whole game.
Right, and they're laser focused on these tasks.
Yeah.
They want to make robots that can handle the stuff that's unsafe or boring or just really repetitive for a person's. Think cleaning out gutters or working with hazardous materials or even just sorting things on an assembly line all day.
Exactly, stuff humans just shouldn't have to do. So it's really about freeing us up to focus on more important things and opening up all these new possibilities.
Totally. And you can tell they're serious about it, too. They're hiring all these top engineers, robotics experts, software developers, AI specialists, the best of the best.
Yeah, they're going all in on this. And the really crazy part is they're not just using AI, they're building the brains behind it, too.
Wait, so you're saying they're making their own AI chips and stuff?
Yeah, the FSD chip, which is the engine for their self-driving system.
What? For the FSD? I mean, everyone's heard of that.
But then there's the Dojo chip, which is a whole other level.
So what's the Dojo chip do then?
That's for training the AI. It's like a monster of a chip, and it's all about efficiency.
Efficiency? How so?
Well, they're obsessed with this idea of silicon performance per watt, which basically means squeezing every ounce of power out of the chip without wasting energy.
Oh, so it's like having a super powerful engine, but it gets amazing gas mileage?
Exactly. It's not just about raw power. They're thinking about sustainability and long-term performance.
Smart. And it's not just theoretical either, right? They're talking about mass production.
Oh, yeah. They're planning to make a ton of these things.
Which makes you wonder, what else are they going to do with all this AI power?
Well, that's the really exciting part. They've hinted at creating a public-facing API for the Dojo system.
Okay, hold on. Public-facing API, that's a lot of tech jargon.
Basically, it means they might let anyone use this crazy, powerful AI system.
Whoa. Seriously, imagine the possibilities.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It could be revolutionary.
So what could you actually do with that kind of power? I can barely figure out how to use my own smartphone half the time.
Well, imagine using it to analyze complex medical images or create crazy realistic video game environments or even personalized education plans for every student.
Okay, now you're blowing my mind.
The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Yeah, endless and a little bit terrifying, right? What happens when everyone has access to that kind of power?
It's a double-edged sword for sure, but it's definitely an exciting time to be following the world of AI.
It sure is. So we've got this supercomputer on wheels.
Yeah.
But how does it actually learn?
Well, that's where it gets even wilder. Each Tesla relies on 48 neural networks, all working together to process information and make decisions.
48. You're kidding me. That's a whole room full of experts all arguing about the best way to merge onto the freeway.
Haha, kind of. It's incredibly complex.
Yeah.
And training those 48 networks takes a massive amount of data. Something like 70,000 hours of GPU time.
70,000 hours? How long is that? 8 years straight?
Yeah, something like that. To put that in perspective, that's like having a single computer working nonstop for almost a decade just to teach the AI the basics.
A decade. But Teslas seem to be getting smarter way faster than that.
That's because they're using real-world training. Every mile driven by every Tesla owner feeds information back into the system.
Wait, so every Tesla is like a student and the real world is its classroom?
You got it. Every lane change, every turn, every time the car adjusts its speed or avoids an obstacle, it's all teaching the AI how to navigate the complexities of the real world.
That's actually kind of brilliant. So it's not just software updates. It's the AI itself constantly evolving and adapting.
Exactly. It's constantly learning and improving.
Okay, so we've got the Dojo system training these super advanced neural networks. But how does the car make sense of all that data?
Well, that's where the software comes in. It's like the translator that turns all that data into something the car can understand.
So it's like the brain of the operation.
In a way, Tesla calls it creating a high-fidelity representation of the world for the car.
High fidelity.
Right.
So it's not just seeing the world, it's like seeing it in HD.
Exactly. Imagine the AI is building a detailed map in its mind. But instead of just streets and buildings, it includes everything: trees, pedestrians, even the texture of the road.
It's kind of creepy how good it's getting. Like the other day, my Tesla predicted that a pedestrian was going to jaywalk before they even stepped off the curb.
It's amazing how far the technology has come, even in just a few years. And remember, Tesla's constantly updating and refining its software through those over-the-air updates.
Yeah, it's like it never stops learning. So it's constantly evolving, even when you're stuck in traffic.
That's a good way to put it. But it's not just about making the AI smarter, it's about ensuring it's safe and reliable. That's where Tesla's evaluation infrastructure comes in.
Okay, evaluation infrastructure. Now you're just using big words to make me feel dumb. What is that?
Basically, it's like a virtual crash test dummy for their AI.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Tell me more.
It's not like a real testing ground with like cones and crash dummies or anything like that. It's all virtual. They create these crazy detailed simulations using anonymized data from real Teslas on the road.
So it's like they're recreating rush hour in LA, but inside a computer.
Yeah, exactly. They can throw any scenario they can think of at the AI, rain fog, pedestrians, you name it, and see how it reacts.
That's so smart. So they're basically giving the AI a crash course in driving, but without actually crashing.
Precisely. It's all about identifying and fixing potential problems before they ever reach a real car.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do they know the AI will actually do what it's supposed to do in the real world?
That's where hardware in the loop testing comes in.
Hardware in the loop. Come on, you're using big words again.
Yeah, sorry. Basically, it means they take the actual FSD hardware, the chips and sensors, and plug it directly into the simulation.
So the AI is actually controlling real hardware, but in a virtual world. That's nuts.
It's like the ultimate test. They can see how the software, the processors, and the sensors all work together in real time.
Wow. It's no wonder Teslas are getting so good at this whole self-driving thing.
It's a really impressive setup. And it's not just about cars either.
What do you mean?
This same technology, the same AI that's driving a Tesla could one day power robots in all sorts of applications.
Like what?
Think about it. Robots in hospitals, factories, even our homes.
Okay, now that's just straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But it's closer than you think.
What?
And it raises some really interesting questions.
Like what?
Well, how do we make sure this technology is used responsibly? How do we prepare for the societal changes that are bound to happen?
Those are some big questions.
Big questions for a deep dive another day.
Yeah, we'll save those for later. So basically, Tesla's building the Matrix, but for cars.
And robots. And who knows what else.
It's exciting and terrifying all at the same time.
Definitely. But it's definitely an exciting time to be following the world of AI and robotics.
No doubt about that. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to need some time to process all of this.
I hear you. It's a lot to take in.
It is. But hey, that's what these deep dives are all about, right?
Exactly. Getting to the bottom of things and exploring all the angles.
Well, on that note, I think we've all learned enough to keep our minds spinning for a while.
I would say so. It's been a fascinating conversation.
It really has. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the heart of Tesla's AI revolution.
Yeah, so they're not using like actual cones and crash dummies or anything. It's all virtual. They create these like crazy detailed simulations.
So they're like recreating rush hour in LA, but inside a computer.
Exactly. They can like throw any scenario they can imagine at the AI, like rain fog pedestrians, like crazy drivers cutting people off, you name it. And they can see how the AI reacts in real time.
That's brilliant. So they're basically giving the AI a crash course in driving, but without actually crashing.
Exactly. It's all about finding and fixing problems before they ever make it to a real car.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do they know if the AI will actually do what it's supposed to do out in the real world?
That's where the hardware in the loop testing comes in.
Hardware in the loop. Okay, you got to stop with the fancy words.
That's right. It basically means they take the actual FSD hardware, like the chips and sensors, and they plug it directly into the simulation.
So the AI is actually controlling real hardware, but in a virtual world.
Exactly. It's the ultimate test. They can see how the software, the processors, and the sensors all work together in real time.
Wow, so it's like putting the AI through boot camp.
Yeah, something like that. It's a really intense testing process, but that's how they're making sure this technology is ready for the real world.
It's honestly kind of mind-blowing. And it makes you wonder, like, what else could they do with this technology?
Right, because this is about way more than just cars.
So we're talking about like robots that can do surgery or build houses or even like fold laundry.
Maybe one day, but even beyond those specific applications, this is about a fundamental shift in the way we interact with technology.
So it's not just about what the robots can do. It's about how we integrate them into our lives.
Exactly. It's a really exciting time to be working in this field, but it's also a little bit scary, right?
Totally. It's like we're on the verge of something huge.
We are. And the question is, are we ready for it?
That's a good question. And I think it's one we're going to be grappling with for a long time to come.
Definitely. But hey, that's what makes this stuff so fascinating, right?
For sure. Well, on that note, I think we've all had enough mind-blowing insights for one day.
I agree. It's been great chatting with you.
It's been a pleasure. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this wild ride through the world of Tesla's AI. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your minds open. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.